Yep. Okay, so I'll call to order committee of the whole for Tuesday, June 16th. Let the record show that all committee members are present, with the exception of Alderman Witt and Alderman DiPaolo, who are absent. We have no unfinished business. New referrals for consideration. Item A is discussion topic. Washington Street project brought forward by Bob Ring. Bob?
Yeah, it's been a while since we talked about this project, and it's time for an update. There's some action needed by the council eventually to move the project forward. A lot has happened since, the very first phase of it. So we met with our funding source, EFC. We met with Municipal Solutions, who's doing the MWBE admin work. If you remember, back in 2018, we borrowed $1.35 million for phase 1, which was Washington Street from 4th Street to 10th Street, and then North 4th Street from Sullivan to Lawrence Street. So we were going to do that without any grant funding. We had applied for a grant, but we didn't get it, so we're like, we got to do this project anyway, so we borrowed for it, and then we got a grant, $900,000. We had to spend $1.5 million for that. So you guys have kind of been updated to that point. And we said we were going to come up with a plan to expand the project. So we did that. We decided we thought the best course of action would be to expand the project to 15th Street. Washington Street at 10th to 15th, tie into a larger line, to increase flow and everything that's needed. So we're calling each of those projects phase 1 and phase 2. So both projects need design review from the Department of Health, and when the funding agency came on board, we had to meet their MWB requirements and then other requirements for taking federal money, like wage rates and things like that. So the project has grown from $1.35 million to $1.9 million. So we have 1.35 sitting in the bank account and a $900,000 grant. So essentially we have $2.2 million in cash flow for the project. So what we're proposing is expanding the project to a $1.9 million project. And the action that you would have to take in that case would be to satisfy our funding agency, would be to pass a bond resolution for the fund amount. That doesn't mean we have to borrow the money because we have that cash flow, but you would have to pass that resolution. At least that's what they're requesting from us. So since you haven't approved phase 2, we would probably, when we get to that point, ask you to either award the second phase of the project to the same contractor. So talk to the city attorney. This is $700,000 change order. Like, it's massive compared to the original bid. Our procurement policies have changed a lot, so Bill and I talked about it, but the council needs to be involved in change orders that large. But again, I guess what I'm saying to kind of wrap up this part of the discussion is we think that's the best course of action, is to push this project to 15th Street, water line replacement from a 4-inch to an 8-inch, and a mill and paving from that entire section of that side. So, I guess any comments, and then I've got some more to the story after this, but.
I guess my first comment is, it's exciting to finally start talking about this. This has been something we've talked about now for quite a long time. With that said, the additional money that we secure through the grant, what is the risk to that money? Have you received any updates? Whether or not it's going to be there, it's guaranteed to us, or have you heard anything whether that money could be pulled back, whether is it through the state or through the federal government?
It's administered through the state, but it's federal stimulus, or it's federal structural money.
Okay.
I guess I can answer that in length. I guess, does anyone else have any questions? That's a really lengthy answer.
So our original commitment was supposed to be $900,000, and that was
no 1.3.
It was 1.3. I thought it was less than $1 million.
I thought it was like 2 million actually, but that might not be our match.
The contractor bid is like 1.1 something.
Okay. So it's 1.1, but in order to, with this new grant, it's for we have to spend 1.5.
1 point, well, we have to spend 1.5 to 60/40 split. So they will give us 900,000, we spend 600,000 just to round off. So that's a 60/40.
Say that again?
Versus our match. So 900,000 for the funding agency, 60%, 40% city, 600,000. Does that make sense?
So this is being treated as a separate project in their scope? Because we're spending already $1 million on the existing project. They're not considering that, the money that we're spending there?
Well, we are only committed to spending 1.5 million. So I don't know exactly what you're asking, but if you didn't want us to spend 1.9, if you wanted us to spend 1.5, we could stop at 13th Street, right? But it wouldn't be tying into a line
Right.
that's going to add any supply.
Right.
So is from 13th Street to 15th? I mean, I know the whole point of this project is that there was pressure issues and quality issues, safety issues. Do those issues still exist there?
Yeah, I mean, we have this hydrant map that shows red and yellow and green hydrants. When you look at it from like a city scale, it's littered with red hydrants.
Yeah.
I mean, there's issues on Washington Street. It's a 4-inch all the way down the wall.
Yeah.
So I mean, it would be helpful someday to replace the entire line. There's a 12-inch line that comes down 10th Street. We're going to tie into that, and then there's a 10-inch line that goes down 15th Street. So tying into there will help the supply, literally along Washington Street and all those houses and the hydrants.
And this is just for the water line, right? This isn't for like new sidewalks and new pavement and.
Water lines and services and all of it is really the main part of the project.
But it sounds like, to me, we're spending less now that we know we got the grant, right? Than the original conceptualized amount?
Yes. Because our process, we do a planning estimate on our project, and then we borrow. So we borrow based on our engineering estimate, and then we go out to bid. So we borrowed 1.35, and we bid the project, and it was 1.15. So we had contingency. If you remember discussing, we had a little bit of money left over, and then the grant came available. So yes, we're still spending less than our original bid amount.
Mm-hmm. And we're getting more done.
So if we do the 1.5, then what will it actually end up costing us again? 600,000?
1 point. If we do 1.5, no, we'll spend 600,000.
And if we don't do it, we'll spend what?
If we do the full scope that I'm recommending,
No, just the original scope.
we'll spend $1 million.
Okay, so that obviously makes a lot of sense, right? Why would we want to do that? Right, so we could not accept this grant and spend $1 million and just do the original scope.
To 7th Street was the original scope, I think. It
10th
was 10th. Okay.
Street was the-
Okay.
Or we can accept the grant, spend more money overall, the project grows in size, but our commitment number goes down.
Yes, we basically give 5 free lots.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a great idea.
No, but the add-on caveat is you're saying take it to 15th Street instead of 13th Street, and what is the additional? It's 1.9 60/40 split the whole way, or are we only doing 60/40 on the 1.5?
$700,000 change order.
So we'd be more than doubling. Like right now, we stuck with the original plan and go to 14. What was it again? 10. It would be 600K. If we go to 15, it'll be.
No, it's $1 million at 10th Street, 600,000 at
No, there is a
13.
bid of 1.1 million to go to 10th Street.
That was all us.
committed to just that, right? Also, the grant will let us expand 5 blocks and we'll spend
Less money.
less money.
Right, that sounds good. I'm talking about going to the next, after that. Okay, what was it again? It was 10 to 15?
No, 13th to 15th.
No, that's what it is, 6 million.
So you've only got
I'm just
two,
looking at this, I'm sorry. I guess
there's not 3 scenarios, right? Just 2?
Okay, so the original was what? Say it again.
Either we stop at 10, well, we stop at 10 and we only spend city money. Well, again, there's more to the story, but
I don't know.
did I explain myself right?
So, okay, so the original was 4 to 10, and it was going to cost the city 1.1 million, right? The grant came along, and it increased the total dollar of the project, but the city's contribution would only be 600K.
Yes.
Okay, and what's that, 4 to what?
4th to 15th would be the total project.
Okay, so then the $700,000 change order is from 15th to what?
Now, the $700 change order is from 10th to 15th, right?
Yes.
Yeah. We're getting confused here. The grant, the original amount that we decided the city funded was 4th to 10th Street. And that was for 1.3?
Well, 1.1.
1.1.
Okay, so what was the 1.5?
So 1.5 is what it came in at?
We only have to spend $600,000 to satisfy the weed grant of 1.5 million, but we don't really have a projection of how much 1.5 million will take us, how far it will take us.
Okay.
We know that from 4th to 15th will cost 1.9 million. So what I'm suggesting is we spend 1.9 million to do this expanded scope.
Okay, so the 15th Street is where it would end no matter what. That's the phase 2.
Yeah, it's either the first scenario, even under the first scenario, we can't spend 1.5 million because it's just,
Too short.
right? We already know
So-
that costs 1.1.
So what
So-
would we in the first scenario, we can't accept that grant?
They would probably reduce.
Right. But it's still going to reduce it's not going to be, if we didn't take it, it's $1 million. If we do take it, it's going to be less than $1 million.
We might be able to, pay for 40% of that project, right?
Great. It'd be,
And everyone would pick it up and scale down.
yeah.
My thought is, so you're saying you projected to actually cost 1.9 million to get us to 15th Street. The grant, now what is this 1.5? Is that the grant is willing to split 60-40 up to 1.5, or is that the threshold we have to get to at least 1.5? Because if we're doing
Yeah, we have to spend
at least 1 point, so if we actually go 1.9, then we're 60-40 split on it.
We'll satisfy the grant, we'll get full grant money back, and, we won't have to spend any more money than we already have to pay.
I mean, the way I look at it is, there's 2 options. Option number 1 is our original scope, which is 1.1 million of city money. Option 2 is it's a $2 million job, of which, is that right? The total scope to 15th Street? 1.9 million, of which we pay 600,000. Is that correct?
1.5 is 600.
We pay $1 million.
Yeah.
We pay $1 million and we get $1 million.
We get that.
So it's still less than the first option.
And the other thing that's helped is next year our FSRI due, which is our ISO ratings, if you've ever heard of those. This is a huge help because this is our biggest red district in the city. So a red hydrant is less than 500 gallons per minute. When we show that we made market increases on water supply is 50% of the city's fire safety rating index. That's what knocks your insurance rates down. So in our last
So this
rating,
would potentially lower our insurance rates.
we are on the high side of a 4. So when you start to get towards a 5, you're going to start to hear squeal. But this, we're so close to a 3 in a project like this because it's 50% of our overall fire suppression rating index, that this is something that just this project alone might kick us back into a 3. and give us more of a bump.
Is that,
It might.
I don't know how many come in. There's a lot of things we've also done on the department side that I'm fairly confident we're gonna get to a 3 just based on our changeovers that we've done.
is that the city's insurance that the city would pay, or are we talking about homeowners?
These are your commercial properties, these are your industries, these are what, your department, the better your ISO rating is, the cheaper. If you're 1 to 5, you're
Sure.
this level. If
So, right,
you're
like
5 and above, you start to get more.
But not homeowners.
Right, like,
So it depends on what insurance you have.
so right, like they might look at that and say, your city's in a really good rating, we're gonna, you're paying for fire insurance, we're gonna give you a good deal on it because your city's got a great knockdown history, their ISO, their water suppression, okay.
Yeah, there's like 5 different things that go into this, but water supply's 50%, and that, some of them will use, like for homeowners, for example, some of them will use fire station locations, like how close you to a fire station. Some of them will use how close you to a hydrant, what type of service, do you have career service versus volunteer service? They'll look at all those, but like your industries and your commercial, your high value properties, they look at that ISO rating. You'll see a lot of the fire departments on their website. That's one of the first things they start in their selling point of their department is with their ISO rating.
And that would be great if we're talking about Wayne Street. We're talking about Washington.
Or Washington, yeah. Washington Street's is our high rent, or our high rent district.
Which hedges against the whole curb is what he's saying, because it's our biggest beast in the city.
It'll help reduce our rate.
Even though the high
It
down.
does not have to be located on Washington Street. It affects a citywide, it's a citywide.
So yeah, even,
Rate, it's a department-wide rate.
It's a department-wide rate.
Yeah, it's like 50% goes to water supply, 25% is department staffing, 10% is dispatch, and then the rest is building safety inspections and training records. Those make up that whole thing. It basically rates your department.
So currently you said the city is rated a 4?
Or a 4, yes. And it's on a 1 to 10 scale.
Okay. And although uncertain, being that this is the most critical or the reddest district in the city, it's possible that could knock the city
Go to a 3.
back to a 3, which could potentially lower commercial property insurance.
It could. Yeah. You definitely don't want to be a 5.
Okay.
You don't want to start getting towards that.
because you said 10's the highest and 10 is the worst?
10 would be where you're no water supply, like camps that are out in the,
Gotcha.
out there.
How often are you rated? Is it good for 5 years, 10 years?
They'll do them, they can do them upon request, but generally they do them every 5 years. So they look at what when they come in, they have basically an adjuster that comes in and you sit down with them and you go through the water maps. Actually, we've gotten our water map and water survey requirements, and I've had them postpone it just to see what this is going to entail. Just because to see how much of the reds clean up and get us to greens, and that'll help.
Are there more reds in the city?
We've done a pretty good job of getting rid of a lot of our reds now outside of Washington Street. They're usually your dead ends. Like your like 300 or 400 block of your south numbered streets and stuff. They reduce down.
In your professional opinion, do you believe it is a worthwhile venture to expand it to 15th Street?
Absolutely, just because we have quite a few fires on down Washington Street, down the numbered streets on those speeders, and it really helps us because when you talk what you can get off the truck, 500 gallons a minute, just one of our small lines is 250 gallons.
Okay.
So it certainly helps.
Yeah. And don't we also have issues with like water hammer too? Like if you guys are drawing off with a truck that can handle 500 and it's only putting out 250 and then you have to shut it off. Didn't we have problems in the past with hydrants having water hammer and breaking?
Most of the new apparatus have water hammer prevention valves on them.
Okay.
So they basically, when you slam them, it slowly slams.
Gotcha.
Not like the old days where you slam it and drop it and it backflows and blows the main.
Gotcha. Yeah. I know we've had that in the past. So, so Bob, as long as we meet that threshold, we could get $600,000 would be our match. And I just did the math on it. So I mean, even if we hit your 1.9 guesstimate, I mean that's still $760,000 is our match. So which still isn't bad for what we're paying. It's an extra $160,000 is our gamut. So I think that's a.
If you're considering not doing the expansion, scaling back, I guess I would just
however many years now I've served on the council, I don't know if we've replaced, I don't think we have a water line. And that's one of the most, obviously raising water and sewer rates is always a contentious issue with our residents. But when you explain to them that the increases are to replacing infrastructure, to replace bad water lines, that they get it. And this has been a project now that has been talked about for 2 years, and I think it's a slam dunk. It's a no-brainer to take the additional grant funding and expand the scope of this project.
I'm all for taking this to the next step. And
Bill, do you have any thoughts?
The only thing I want to make you aware of is that unless it's changed from the other day, we did get information that right now the grant funds are not there for reimbursement. So that may be held up.
So that's a longer discussion?
Yeah, I was getting into that, I guess.
way to go, Bill.
Well, it's a concern, so, the money is being, we got the grant, a WIA grant, it's being, facilitated through, what is the organization called?
ESC,
Yeah.
Environmental Facilities.
Yeah, Environmental Facilities Corporation, and they let us know that as of right now, they don't have the money to reimburse us. So it's not, they didn't say the money's gone, they just said they don't have it right now. So they wanted us to be aware of that. So.
Now, that's something that we typically would not be reimbursed for until the end of the project.
This particular project, I think we would get money up front and then, yeah.
So we just have to bond for more and pay a little extra interest while we wait for the state to get us.
No, that's not really what we're suggesting. What we're suggesting is starting with the phase 1 project that we have the money in place for. We don't want to put ourselves in a situation where we don't have the money or that we go in the hole. We have the money in the bank to pay for phase 1. Let's start. Well, I guess what we're suggesting is to start phase 1. We met with the contractor, they can start after July 4th. And we're going to follow all the requirements that are required by the funding source at no increased cost. If they're going to meet NWPU requirements, they're going to meet all the federal wage rate requirements. We're going to do a change order with the contractor to meet all those requirements, complete phase 1, and then when ESC, which could be next year, tells us that money is available, then that contractor is open to the change order for phase 2. In fact, they seem to be pleased to do, the second phase, which is the $700,000 phase we're talking about. I don't think they have a tight schedule from July 4th to say November for completing this, but we're trying to push them to complete this. Assuming you all want to move forward with it, but to get the project done, there is a possible worst case scenario where we complete the original project that we bonded for, we don't get
Funding doesn't come available. Right.
If we do, we'll complete the expanded portion of the project.
So we're no worse off. We're no worse off than we were before we received the grant.
The risk is
We wanted to make sure that you had the full information on this.
I think, look, I love spending grant money. Like, yep, let's spend that all day. That being said, just because we can spend $1 million or $1.1 million and do more, that doesn't necessarily mean we should. If we could get out of the original scope for considerably less, I think it would behoove us to at least consider that. I realize the infrastructure needs, I realize the safety concern or whatever. And I'm not saying I'm against doing the full scope or the new expanded scope or whatever. I just think we should be careful with how we proceed. If we can get out of it cheaper, I think we should try to not spend $1 million. We can do it for 600.
Well, I think that's what they're saying is we're going to be going forward with
Right.
this project as if they're gonna do that, and if the grant falls through, all right, you know, we're stuck with what we originally bid
We'll
on.
do that, yeah.
And then,
Cut that off.
but then if it's there, as long as we don't, yeah, that's why, because I'd hate to see us dig ourselves into a 1.9 hole and then, hey, you know what, unemployment drained all our grant funding for these types of projects.
Phase one and phase two.
Okay.
That's why we're doing.
So we can
phase
still
one.
pull out of phase two next year.
And then we would get reimbursed above and beyond for, yeah. we
But I
would-
just want to make sure there's that granularity, right? I don't want to, like, the next time we talk to be like, well, we just decided to rent it. You know what I mean?
So, the contractor is okay with that stipulation, with the understanding that it's heavily, phase two is completely reliant on receiving that grant?
Right, and, you know, when we issue the contract, a change order to them, we'll stipulate that both parties have to agree to the second phase.
Okay.
Before it's started, and it has to be contingent on some funding source coming through, and we, you know, the advice we're getting, I mean, we spoke to a lawyer from EFC, he was the first person to talk on the meeting we had with them, and he went into this spiel about how the money isn't guaranteed, but, you know, from what we're hearing, you know, a lot of these communities that wouldn't have taken on projects without the grant, they end up in a big situation with lawsuits if they don't eventually come through with their funding. It's just not available now because of issues with the state. You know, we're running through the same thing with CHIPS funding and how to move forward with that.
So from a time frame perspective, you believe this is gonna kick off this, phase one will kick off this year, after July 4th?
Yes, if the council wants to go that way. We've already awarded the project. We awarded it to move forward without any grant funding from this. So we can tell them to start tomorrow, they can mobilize and get ready to go after July 4th holiday.
I think that's great. Many of the residents on Washington Street believe this is a pipe dream. So, this is something that they, you know, that I've communicated and spoken with them about for almost a year and a half, 2 years now. And so, I'm sure, especially the part of Kevin's ward by Oak Hill Park, you know, I mean, that's part of the explanation that at least I give why that street is in bad shape as it is, right, by Oak Hill. The plan that we're gonna rip it up. So, I think any movement we can get there this year.
we lose more 9-year-olds than those potholes.
Okay, does anybody have anything else to add?
What specific actions are you looking for?
You know, we can bring up a discussion about the solution here, and we get started with this. We don't need an award, but we'll eventually need an award down the road on the second phase.
Change order.
So you'll come with a change order? Okay.
Okay. Okay, anything else? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to item B, which is discussion item, North Union Street Flower Garden brought forward by Alderman Anastasia.
I received a call a few days ago from, I don't remember his first name, his last name was Case.
Paul.
Yeah. Paul Case. He owns, what is it, a nutrition store or something on North Union Street?
Shade store.
Yeah.
He says that right now he's adopted those 2 islands in front of his store, and he takes care of them, he weeds them, and he shovels the walk in the wintertime, and he shovels the walk leading to the crosswalk. And with the COVID crisis, he said his business is really hurting, and so is his neighbor that owns some kind of a boutique right next door, whatever the name of that is, I'm not sure.
Butterfly?
What, dragonfly?
Dragonfly.
But I took some pictures if you guys wanted to see what he was talking about of his islands. And what he's asking for is if he can remove those flowers, I call them weeds, but he calls them flowers. Remove those flowers in front of his island and plant grass there. What they want to do is they want to put tables and chairs up so people can come and sit there. And he said he would mow the grass, it wouldn't be the city's responsibility. Even though it's city property, he would maintain everything.
Isn't there a storm drain there?
Yeah, that's one of our, that's a wet garden.
Because there was 2 islands, he said if he could get both, he would be really happy, but if he could get one, he'd be really.
Are there drains on both sides?
But on the other side, there's no drain. sure the other side. I think the one that has the drain it doesn't.
So, look at, here's Google
It's a
Maps.
quick way to lose a chair.
That's the one with the drain.
It's a quick way to lose a chair leg.
That one?
Yeah, that one doesn't have a
We're also going to drain through the sidewalk, like they have a trench drain, and they overflow, and the other one has a catch basin, the whole flat part type of thing. I'm getting into that myself.
Paul has been after us for the last
Yeah,
couple
look
of
at the little curve cut where the water flows into the garden.
Paul's been wanting to do that for the last, since he's been in there. And, I think he was advised that that's the wet gardens and we can't do anything with them
I
right
mean,
now.
those wet gardens are specifically tied to
To the drainage, yeah.
the drainage and the money. I mean, hypothetically, if we just went and whacked all the wet gardens, would we get in trouble? Because that was part of like grant funding or something?
Yeah, there was a time limit on that, but it would defeat the purpose also, unless, the wet gardens were put in to take gallons of water, hundreds of thousands of gallons of water out of the storm sewer.
That's why they didn't. I don't think they sized the storm sewers to handle. You know what I mean? That's one of the reducing factors.
That's why your storm sewers in the places that are up higher, because the idea is until the water accumulates so much it gets up higher to go into the storm, otherwise it absorbs it. But we're doing a redesign along the street as part of the DRI. So Bob's working on that now. So there may be some things we can do, in the future there. But having said that, those are part of the stormwater gardens that were put in specifically to take water, absorb water in the ground, and to keep it out of our storm sewer system.
If all those, so if those flood, they would go into the drain. But if not, and you put grass there, those things are gonna be swamps because they're not the right foliage to be absorbing all that kind of excess water. So I'm just imagining these just big swamp ponds out in front of his store. And
As you're looking in front of the store, if you look to the left, I didn't see any storm drains there, but on the right there is.
Like Bob said, is there a cut in, I can't remember if there's a cut in the sidewalk where the water drains over through that. It's a little grate you see it in the sidewalk. It drains over in there and that helps absorb.
and split the water between the two gardens. Makes sense. Yeah, I'd love to see people kind of, expand and take their own ideas to, beautify the city or help their business and create people interacting. But at the same time, these things show a purpose, Like, well, this drain is just, it's ugly in front of my shop, so I just filled it with flowers, Like, it's counterproductive from what, engineers have designed, so.
So, where do we take that from here?
So
Bob,
just-
you wanna look into
As long
that?
as you see it's a wet garden, 50/50. There's two sidewalks that go through there, I wonder if they could use the space.
It's pretty wide, isn't it? Like, yeah.
Well, that's a good point.
Where it like goes in two directions.
Yeah. What's is there, what criteria could he not apply for setting up like these restaurants do?
Yeah, he could apply for a cafe license where he could put tables out on the sidewalk.
He serves drinks, I think.
I thought-
something like
He's
that.
not serving alcohol, but
Right.
he could still get a cafe license, which would enable him to put tables out on the
As long as-
sidewalk.
Right.
As long as you maintain, was it 4 or 5 feet in a commercial district? 4 foot is residential, and you're required to have 5 feet of sidewalk, so I think you have to also maintain 5 feet. So if there's 10 feet of sidewalk, he could use,
Half of it.
Well,
Half
there's two sidewalks.
you're right, and the city, the city usually, the code isn't really that specific, so like, where most places, like my coffee shop has an actual subway where we've put the sidewalk cafe, and we maintain a 5-foot sidewalk. Like Union Whiskey or the Bistro, they have just come right off the building with it instead of having that going over the other side of the right of way and having a lane in between. So
We'll check it out, see what we can do, and we'll get back to you, okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
The only thing I would kind of throw in there, I think it's a little odd, might be a stretch, but if we really wanted to work with him and if there's not enough room for him to put his tables, maybe you could put like a pervious pavement there for the tables to sit on or something. would still count as infiltration maybe.
Well, I've asked Chris Chabert to come here tonight to brief the council on what we're gonna have to do. I know we've made a decision to close the pools, but we could change that decision, but I want him to brief the council on what we would have to do in order to open up the pools.
Okay. Chris?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. It's nice to see you. Just want to briefly state that we made the decision was made for two reasons, safety and responsibility. And it still holds true today, even with the governor's guidelines. We did get guidelines from the New York State Department of Health on what we have to do as a public pool to operate with COVID-19. Okay? We have to, and these are in the guidelines, we have to be able to maintain social distance in the pool, around the pool, and there's also the issue of mask wearing. People have to come to the pool with their mask on. When they're outside of the pool, meaning they get out of the pool, they have to put their mask on, etc. And there's also conditions in this guidelines for more sanitation services, frequent sanitation. Met with the health department today. We went down to Franchot. We looked at that waiting pool. We looked at what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to, as a bare minimum, we're going to have to increase our staffing. That pool right now is mandated by guidelines based on square footage. We have to have 3 lifeguards on duty for that pool to operate. To maintain the social distancing, we would have to have somebody at the gate. We would have to have at least 2 other people to supervise the social distancing. Lifeguards is mandated by code, cannot be responsible for social distancing or face mask enforcement. They are not hired for that purpose. They have enough on their hands trying to keep people safe otherwise.
Well, wait, we don't have people policing social distancing in our parks, do we? Why do we need to do that at the pool?
Because you're in an enclosed space, that's why.
The pool's in close space.
Yeah, it's fenced in.
It's fenced in. You cannot expand the pool. The pool is a fixed distance from point A to point B.
I get that the pool is, but, okay.
But this is what we have to do.
This is what we need a permit from the health department. This is what the health department is telling us that we have to do.
So in order for us to operate a pool, we have to get a special permit from the health department.
Yes.
Or we have to prove that we can meet all these guidelines.
Correct. And that would be the safety plan. Okay? And another issue that you're going to have, again, is the added staffing. And you're going to have other issues with trying to enforce that. That's the issue. Because you cannot wear a face mask in the pool per their code. However, with this being a respiratory virus, there's a greater chance of spread, obviously. That is why it is imperative, more than in an open park or in wherever, that we maintain that social distance. That's why the guideline is the way it is. That's why the governor made it that way. There's also restrictions on group size. You can't have more than one group of 10 show up without special restrictions. And a lot of these restrictions, folks, are why virtually all municipalities in New York State have decided not to open their pools. There are 2 exceptions. One is the town of Tonawanda. They have 3 pools. They are keeping 2 of them closed. The city of Buffalo currently made the decision last week. They're going to try to open some of their larger splash pads because you can social distance there. But they are very hesitant on opening their pools because, as the director of public works for the city of Buffalo said on Channel 2 News, they are confined spaces. And very, very difficult to try to enforce that. Very difficult. So that is where we're at. Just so folks know around here too, Oliver made the decision on Friday. They're not opening their memorial pool. I had a conversation with the Olean YMCA. Their pool's currently undergoing some renovation work. They anticipate opening that pool at some point in July. They are not opening it to the general public for recreation purposes. That pool is going to be open for water, aquatics, and swim lessons. So
That pool never is open to the general public, though.
well, I mean for open record for like general membership to come in and do that.
Oh, okay.
That's what I meant.
Okay,
Sorry.
all right, okay.
But this is kind of where we're at, and we have to be, myself, this is a responsibility I take very seriously. Pools always make me nervous just because they're inherently dangerous. But with COVID-19 now at the forefront, we need to be very, 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 very careful with what we do. With the summer rec program, I know people have said this, well, how come you're having a summer rec program? Well, here's why. I can spread those kids out very easily in the summer rec program. I can use the rec center, I can use Warbett's Park, I can use Bradner Stadium, I can use Torrance Park. The pool is a fixed area. Another issue we have at the rec center, that pool is 1979. That pool is old. There are no modern amenities to that pool. It's basically a tub. We're also running our rec program out of there. And the last thing I want is more kids crossing the paths. As they said that right off the top, you want to limit gatherings, you want to limit the number of people that you put in enclosed spaces. So that was kind of why we took a look at franchise. So I just want to be upfront with the council. I know there's been some comments on Facebook. I've read them. Quite frankly, a lot of misinformation out there. And this has nothing to do with the virus in the water. Zero. This has to do with the social distancing, face masks, and the sanitizing requirements of the New York State Department of Health issues, which we have to follow for our permit. In any event that something should happen, and we're not following those guidelines, it would not be a good scene.
So what's the middle ground then? Like obviously there's the manpower issue, right? We have to hire lifeguards, and if we wait and don't hire them, and then they could not be available in middle of July, right? Then there's chemicals and supplies, right? Which we have budgeted for anyway.
We budgeted for that. We currently don't have them, but that's not an issue getting chemicals.
Okay.
That's a relatively quick process. We were thinking of looking at franchise, seeing if we can make it work.
Okay.
Okay.
That's my thoughts.
And I think the mayor and I are kind of in agreement on that. I think Warbett's for this year, I think that is, in my opinion, my recommendation, that should be completely, there's just too much, there's too much
We
going
would
on.
limit people into the pool anyway, right?
Yeah, we'd have
That area,
to,
like
what
we
we'd have to do is,
Adults.
we'd have to, I'm thinking franchise, because, year after year, that gets more use than actually the municipal pool does. But we've got some concern with the municipal pool. The deck, it's more confined. Social distancing there. It's health department. Chris, what did I recommend that we hire
For the rec center or franchise?
for the rec center?
We would need an additional 5 people.
So,
In addition to what we normally do.
In addition to what we normally do, so you're talking a crew of 10 people.
just to monitor the deck.
And the locker rooms and the bathrooms. We have to keep bathrooms open. That's per code.
So what we talked about today, Chris and I talked about today, is that we think we can get franchise open. We think we can do that, but we only need 3 lifeguards at franchise. So we don't have to have lifeguards as the monitors. We can hire the additional staff that we don't hire for the rec center. So it's not a matter of more budget. We can stay within the budget. And we've got a bigger area down there that we can put up signage for social distancing and the monitoring. We can limit the number of people coming in. We can do it by either, it's free there, and we can do it by, they can come in, hour and a half, and then do some surface cleaning, and then let another group in, after that, and then maybe get 3 groups in a day.
I was gonna ask, how would you recommend, are there recommended guidelines? How do you know what's the amount of people to let into the pool?
Well, that's what we did today. We went, myself and the health department gentleman, he's been, the guy that's been inspecting our pools for at least 15 years, so he's very familiar with what goes on. We went and measured, we're figuring 100 square feet to a person. So you take the square footage of the pool and you divide that out, we can come up with a number. We were originally thinking around 50. I think we're still in that ballpark. Like the mayor said, if we were to do the 3 sessions, we have to limit it to that number. And if we were going to open the pool, we could publicize it to that account, saying, hey folks, due to COVID-19, it's a maximum number in the pool, whether it's 74 degrees out or 94 degrees out. I mean, that's just the way that it's gonna have to be. And I think going with franchise, I think is the best middle ground we can find. I know people want their pools open. I want kids to have fun, but I want to do it safely and monitor it the best way that I can. And, you know, franchise is going to be a challenge, but I think if we, you know, cross our T's and dot our I's, I think we'll be good. And
so I just want to say too, Chris, I just want you to understand too that, I mean, I've questioned the mayor on this issue, and I know there's been a lot of comments on Facebook and whatnot, but never at any time did it occur to me that you know, weren't acting in everyone's best interest and you know what I mean, didn't have a level of expertise that clearly I don't have, but just as an advocate for our constituents, I think it behooves us as a council to make sure we ask those questions and to push back,
certainly
you know what I mean, in any way on their behalf.
certainly understand that.
So just so you understand,
No,
like,
I completely get it.
Yep.
But I want people to understand that we're not doing this to do it, we're doing this because it's the right thing to do, it's the safe thing to do, and it's the responsible thing to do.
yep, agreed.
Unfortunately, this is not gonna be a normal summer.
The first decision was made because we didn't have any guidance from the governor's office until, you know, we asked and asked and asked. I would ask on the daily meetings, any on this. And then, all of a sudden out of the blue, he says pools can open.
And it was 2 days after we made the call.
Yeah, so, and we made the call because we wanted to give one of the compelling reasons was we wanted to give the kids that apply for lifeguards the opportunity to find summer jobs rather than, you know, continue to string them out, but, I think we can open up franchise. That'll at least, you know, give the parents with the young kids and that the opportunity to go there and, see if we can make it work.
Would you envision a first come, first served basis, Bill?
Yeah, I don't think we want to get into making reservations and that. I think, yeah, we have to do that. So.
I mean, I haven't been down there and looked at franchise in a couple of years. Were there renovation? I mean, is that fenced in now? Is there a way to control, like, if you had a ton of people come and want to go swimming because they're tired of it?
Yeah,
You
we'd
can
have
control
somebody at the gate.
Okay.
And they'd have they'd have a counter, and when we get to a certain point, say,
Okay.
sorry, we're full.
My last vision was when it was the round pool that was just open.
Now it's off.
But I think we drained at night back then.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore.
Don't do that
Yeah.
anymore. How about, like, at the William O. Smith, is there any chance of doing swim lessons there? Or it's just still too big of an operation?
We haven't done swim lessons the last 2 years because there's been no demand for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I literally probably in that 2 year span, I literally probably had 3 or 4 phone calls total.
Really?
And that's why we dropped doing that. The other reason why we dropped doing that is because we're having a very difficult time getting lifeguards.
Mm-hmm.
And to do the swim lessons, you really need the proper training to do that. And that was another reason why we dropped it. We're just having a hard time finding people. And a lot of these lifeguards are 16, 17-year-olds, first job, first experience as a lifeguard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't want to throw too much on them.
Yeah.
I don't believe you offer a service unless you can offer it to a level that it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
And the demand just isn't there.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize that.
And as soon as we can get the plan in place on the playgrounds, we're gonna open them up too. But we're still looking for some guidance on that, on what we have to do.
I was just asked that by the group message of the Seneca Heights people today.
Yeah.
Stressed your words exactly, which is parks are open, playgrounds are not.
Yeah.
So,
Parks have been open very long.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
So as soon as we can get the playgrounds open, we're looking at now how we're gonna basically sanitize, and so we've got somewhat of we're working on a plan, and as soon as we can get that in place, we'll get them opened up. Although many people are using them anyways right now, but we have to have a plan that we can show.
Not to scratch at the safety measures you're putting forward, Chris, but at the same time, we're about that we opened like bars and restaurants to, like, isn't today the day of indoor service?
Mm-hmm.
And people with respiratory and like high risk, like anybody, 97 years old with bad lungs can go into a restaurant or a bar and socialize, trying to keep social distancing. There's no mandate from the health department saying like you need to hire additional staff, things like that. And when I see people at the pool, unless it's grandma sitting on the sidelines watching her grandkids from a distance while the lifeguards, are making them safe, you don't see too many people doing like, doing the front stroke or, you know what I mean, like swimming in a pool with respiratory issues or, usually over the age of 90. So I find it's the mandates are just kind of here and there. I think it's all pot fly.
I think the whole thing is.
I would say,
unprecedented, so.
Yeah.
I would say the municipal pool over at the rec center is not a complete dead issue. I mean, we'll still work on it. If we can put a plan together and satisfy everybody, we'll do our best to try to get that open too. But I think the better option right now is to work on getting franchise open, and then we can move forward with the rest.
We don't have enough lifeguards right now to operate.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line too. It's probably gonna take us a few weeks to get franchise up and running. We've gotta hire people, we've gotta train people, we've gotta get the pool ready. So, it could be a little length of time until that opens, but certainly next month.
And I think given our situation, Bill, I mean, you presented a kind of a laundry list of projects to take care of at the municipal pool, the deck, different things that you guys were targeting, with the plan of it being shut down. So, I mean, given this situation, this COVID stuff, it's still a good idea to move forward on those projects, right?
Yeah. It's not easy. So.
The question I have with you guys opening the franchise pool, you say it's going to be a few weeks, so you're talking maybe middle of July.
I think realistically, somewhere in that time frame, maybe a little earlier. Some things are gonna be dependent on weather too. You can't clean the pool with thunderstorms and things like that, but,
So and the pool is usually open until Labor Day, right, then it's closed?
Well, we normally close franchise in the middle of August, and that's because I lose lifeguards back to college. Now this year, if we can keep staff around for an additional week or two, I would have no problems keeping it open longer than August.
So not to kill the pool idea, but I mean, we haven't had a pandemic in 100 years, and it sucks. Granted, it sucks.
Yeah.
It's highly contagious disease, and you're saying that pool's only going to be open for a month. So is it truly worth the expense and the risk of putting people's lives in jeopardy when this is a highly contagious disease to even bother opening this pool? And is the city responsible if somebody's down there in the pool?
But I think if we're following realistic guidelines that are given to us by the CDC and the New York State federal government. I mean, all those things sound scary, and I get that. Like, I want us to be safe too. I don't think we should. Trust me, I think there is a high level of ignorance out there about wanting how dangerous this virus is. That being said, we still have to operate to some degree, right? And there's a lot of people, especially at-risk youth and that make use of this pool that are going to be doing other things this summer if that pool isn't there for them. So I don't know.
Right, Nick's not here, but I was just wondering, do we need to put like a sign up that you're going to be entering this at your own risk due to COVID-19? I mean, how does the city get out of liability for some parents saying my kid was in franchise and now he's got COVID and he's in ICU at the only general?
Yeah, there's always risk no matter what. We'll look at signage. We do need signage. So I think I have a little different idea when the pool should open. And Chris, I'm shooting for July 4th weekend. So we'll see. We'll see.
This is very Jaws mayor of you.
I like it.
Those beaches will be open.
That's right.
Don't.
Anyway, I have something I wanted to talk about too. If we're all done with that.
And I have one more thing here for you.
Of course.
You want me to go or you want to go?
It's up to you. I don't really. I mean.
Go right ahead.
Okay.
I'll finish.
This is something that's been like on my mind for a couple weeks, and I've been kind of thinking about how to bring this up to you guys. Typically, I resist the council, the city, in Olean getting involved in national type issues because I don't think there's anything productive with it. But I think that there's that this issue in particular is something that's having a pretty profound impact on a lot of local people here. And that's obviously the Black Lives Matter protests that are happening and that whole initiative. And I think that there's been a really positive turnout in terms of people supporting that cause. The protest has been, overwhelmingly peaceful. That I think Olean Police has handled it, exceptional. What I'd like to do next week for a regular meeting is I think I'll be putting forward a resolution in support of Black Lives Matter, the peaceful protests that are happening in the city of Olean and throughout the country. So something for you guys to ponder. Everybody has their own vote, but I think it's important that we as a city, acknowledge the situation that's going on. And personally, I believe that we should be supporting these people that are exercising their right to peacefully protest. Chew on that however you will, but it'll be on the regular meeting next week.
So I guess I'm confused. What's your resolution to say you're just in support of their protest?
It's a resolution in support of, I'll work on the language of it, but in support of Black Lives Matter and the hundreds of people in the city of Olean who have exercised their right to peacefully protest. I'll get the wording of it worked out between now and then.
Will we be able to read the resolution beforehand?
It will be on the agenda on Friday. And I welcome any input if there's anything like that. It's certainly going to be, I know there's a political angle to that. It's a very polarizing thing to some people for some reason. So that's what I got.
Okay. Those of you, I don't think, all of you were here during the budget process. We talked about, for the last few years, we had removed the money for the mosquito spray. And we've said that it would come out of contingency if it is done with the spraying. So I now have the contracts here from the county. So these will be on for next week to authorize me to sign these. So I just want to let you know that.
We are spraying, or they were just signing the contract in case they spray?
We're just signing the contract, and if they do have to spray, we would be included in it.
Gotcha.
And then we would get our bill. Okay, just like, we have not had to spray, I'm not on for what, the last 3-4 years now, so. But,
they were brutal the other night, so.
Yeah, so, okay, so that'll be on for next week out there. And then the last thing I have for you is that we are looking at opening up the building to the general public again. So I'll be making an announcement within the next couple of days on that. And what do you want to do about council meetings?
Open it up.
Open it up.
Yep.
Kevin Bartholomew has already reached out to me.
Okay.
Is that a joke, or?
Has he asked for his 5 minutes for all those 5 minutes?
He thinks he can claim those 5 minutes in arrears, and he'll have like 5 hours worth of time to talk.
Okay, so when I send out the press release on opening the building back up, I will include that the council will be resuming.
So that'll be Tuesday. We'll be real.
Yeah, we'll be open before that. I'm looking, I'm going to make an announcement tomorrow. It'll be either the end of this week or the first of next week. So.
But the next council meeting, the regular
The
meeting,
next council meeting,
will be open for public.
Okay, so we'll put that in the press release that the next council meeting will be open to the public.
Still maintaining masks.
Yeah, still maintaining social distancing, mask, not, like that, so.
Okay.
Yeah, and when we open the building up, that'll be part of it, maintaining social distancing, mask. We got some signage we gotta do, and
We have to hire additional officers to man the door and enforce distancing. Just
no, we don't have to hire additional.
gotcha.
Don't get that rumor started.
I was going to bring something up tonight, but since 2 council members are absent, I'm going to ask maybe on Tuesday the sale of real property. I sent you guys an email. I think I forwarded it on to you guys. Yes? Okay. So I'll wait until we have the full council to bring that forward to you guys.
I just have one question. About a week or two, I can't remember when it was, but it was I think it was a Sunday afternoon. I went for a walk down on the trail in Gargoyle. I happened to get there at the right time because there was a police officer there, and then the Parks Department came. Somebody kicked into the door to the pavilion and did some damage down there. And the point I'm trying to make is we talked about cameras not too long ago. Is that still being talked about? And are we going to put a camera system maybe down at Gargoyle also?
Well, that's being worked on. Police chief, I asked him to get with the company that has done our cameras and give us some quotes on different things. You know, we can. I don't know if that could be added to our system, but maybe a standalone. But very rarely we get damage down there anymore, so it's kind of.
The ticks usually take care of the invaders. Ticks like Starship Troopers down there.
But the short answer is we can take a look at that.
Okay, anything else? Okay, seeing none, we have no committee reports, we have no committee reports to approve. I will make a motion to adjourn. Would someone like a second? Seconded by Alderman Anastasia. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are